Hey, it's Ben with Recovatech. This right here is the newly updated version of the Nordic Hyper GHD from Freak Athlete. All right, y'all, so in this review video, I'm gonna go over all the new features of the Nordic Hyper GHD and what they just came out with. However, more importantly, I wanna actually answer the question that you probably have, and the reason why you're actually watching this video is because you wanna know, is the Nordic Hyper GHD something that you should buy? Now let me tell you, as you can see behind me, this is my garage gym. I don't have a whole lot of space here, so when it came to buying equipment, finding equipment that I get the most utility out of was the most important thing. So I have a cable machine, I have some dumbbells, and of course I have my rack over here. And with that, I'm able to do most exercises. So when I saw the ad for the Nordic Hyper and it promised to do 6 things in one, you know, of course I was wondering, is this kind of a jack of all trades, master of none? So, you know, does things just okay? And that's what I wanted to find out. So I've spent the last 3 to 4 weeks this month testing it out, trying to incorporate it into my morning routines. And I have a lot of good news and good feedback for you. So that's what we're gonna talk about in this video is this piece of equipment going to fit into your garage gym? And is this gonna be something that you're not gonna regret come a month or 2 from now? Now I'll tell you right up front that I think a lot of the features, this is just my opinion, of the new version 2 of the Nordic Hyper are really just kind of convenience features. It's some of the things that people have mentioned that they should probably change or maybe upgrade. And so if you have the version 1 of the Nordic Hyper, I don't feel like you're really missing out on a whole lot. And so it's just small little convenience tweaks, little things in the design that they made a little bit better to improve the overall experience. But again, it's not something that you're gonna feel like have some sort of buyer's remorse for. Now, one of the first things that you'll notice with the new version is the fact that all the knobs are now different colors. So the old one, they were all the same colors. This one now has several different colors, so you're able to identify the adjustments just a little bit better. The second thing that you'll notice is that it'll come pre-assembled with this footstep bar right here that has knurling on it. Now the other one was built in, it wasn't adjustable like this, it didn't have a magnet that would actually get it to stick like that and get it up out of the way. So that's one small little improvement there. They also got rid of the headrest pad that would go in between these pads right here, and instead what they gave us was these 2 tightening knobs, and so that this piece right here will go in and out and separate rather than having to put a pad directly right here in the center. Now, if you're just getting your Nordic Hyper GHD and you're getting it out of the box, I just want to give you a heads up that you might feel a little disorientated by the complexity of this machine. Now, it's not necessarily difficult. It's just that there's a lot of knobs, there's a lot of adjustments that need to be made, and also there's a lot of variations of different exercises that you can do. So because of all that, it can feel just a little confusing and you might be asking yourself, am I doing this right? Okay, so be patient with this machine because once you get it figured out, it's very, very simple and you're really gonna love all the versatility that it offers you. So what sort of exercises can you actually do with the Nordic Hyper GHD? Well, you can do Nordics, you can do the GHD, you can do back extensions, you can do reverse hypers, you can do sit-ups, you can do Bulgarians, you can also do hip thrusts, and actually a lot more exercises than that. Just depends on how creative you are with it. To me, it's pretty impressive the number of things that you actually can do on this machine, and you can do it in a way that not only feels very, very safe, but it's also very stable overall. Looking at this, you might think that hopping on here, this would actually shake and rattle, and that's really just not the case. That if you get the knobs down here tightened up as you're supposed to, anytime that I hopped on here, being 225 pounds, I felt very, very comfortable, very safe on here, and I could do back extensions, all these other exercises, and not really have it wobble around. I mean, maybe a minuscule amount, but not enough for me to actually feel worried as I was performing these exercises. While we're talking about stability, maybe we should actually talk about construction and build quality overall. I think if I had to say, how's the build quality of the Nordic Hyper, I would say that it's more than acceptable. In other words, I feel like it's put together well enough that, like I said before, it does feel safe and stable. Some of the welds on here, I mean, they're okay. The powder coating is very good, meaning, you know, when it arrived, there wasn't any chips, and I've been using it, and it's still holding up really well. I don't see any signs of like rust or anything like that. The padding itself right here, this is pretty standard stuff that you see. It's pretty grippy. It's maybe not the thickest material here, but again, after a month of using it, I don't see a whole lot of wear and tear. And of course the rollers as well, they have a decent amount of padding to it. I think it's pretty thick. It doesn't have a whole lot of give. And of course I don't see a whole lot of distortion either from using it. And the same thing goes for the pad. It's not like it's ultra plush and comfortable, but it's not uncomfortable either. And again, after using this quite a bit, just not a whole lot of signs of wear and tear so far. So if I had to say how's the quality for something that's around $700–800, I think it's more than acceptable so far. And of course, one of the #1 selling points of the Nordic Hyper GHD is the space savings. So here's my garage gym right here, and you can see the equipment. I don't have a whole lot because I don't have space for it. But if you look right here, the Nordic Hyper GHD, it only takes up about a 2x2 space here on the floor. And I have the rest of this floor right here to do any other exercises that I need to. All right, I want to go ahead and finish up this video. Now, if I didn't answer all your questions about the Nordic Hyper GHD, I do apologize. I didn't go into a whole lot of detail of that, simply because I wanted to, again, answer that question that you might be having. Should you actually buy this thing? Now, this is just my opinion. I love the Nordic Hyper GHD so far. I am somebody that is very comfortable doing back squats, doing deadlifts, doing all those exercises that are supposed to target your low back, your hamstrings, your glutes, things like that. And that's something that I exercise several times a week. And so I felt like I was good with the equipment that I had here in my garage gym. However, after using this and using it in the various different capacities, I noticed that I simply just was not targeting those muscles as much as this thing does. And I was just much more sore. I noticed just some muscles that were just kind of screaming at me. And I saw that as a really good thing. Like, wow, this is actually doing something that I just wasn't getting before. And so if you're looking for something that can help bulletproof your back, your posterior chain, this, in my opinion, is something that'd be incredibly helpful and useful to you. Not only that, the price is pretty darn good. I think around $700 to $800 for a piece of equipment that does so much is really great. The build quality is good. And again, the footprint on this thing, when it's stood up 2x2, you can't beat it. It can just sit in a corner, can get out of the way, has wheels so that you can move it anywhere. It's light enough that most anybody can wheel this around with no problems. So I hope you guys like this video. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments below. There is a link below to buy this. That would help support the channel. It is an affiliate link. There's no extra cost to you. It just helps us out. But I'll see you in the next video, and I hope you guys are having an incredible day.